So I thought I would cover off a few things today. I'm probably going to post less and less and less because we're in the new year and I'm trying to be a lot happier, a lot more positive, sticking with my flock. Who is my flock? Well, my flock are people who have ordered devices. They're doing their own preliminary testing of their family members now, and they are exploring electronics. And the exploration of electronics I have not done in many years of building anything. I have built nothing in years. I mean, I slapped components in, butchered systems, had some fun that way. But I guess I have to kind of go back to that. So let's take a peek at something that I came across in a packet, and it's shocking. So I traced a packet to something called White Rabbit. And in the search with the relevancy, what showed up with the packet was NASA and NSA. And I thought, wow, that's pretty wild. So I checked out, who was the specialist and watched a video on it. And I'll pull that video up and I'll put it in the description box so you can watch it as well. So I copied Mr. Flynn and Sherry on this clip because it's relevant. The Hadron Collider is also conducting biological or human research in regards to advanced technologies. So we can look at that from the perspective of electromagnetic radiation. So if you are part of a team, I guess they refer to them as teams, and you are allocated, research, blah, blah, whatever, in your country, in your city and or village by CERN, who's to say that you won't abuse some of the technologies? It's relevant, right? So I asked him some pretty specific questions. So he's a specialist at CERN. So I told him how I found him. I was searching a packet and managed to track a long string back to White Rabbit at CERN. I then watched your presentation on White Rabbit. After watching your informative presentation, I have a few questions. You stated that the intent of White Rabbit use was not to collaborate within military research. Is this correct? If this is true, could you confirm that no decentralized smart contracts are abusing aspects of open source White Rabbit or CERN capabilities? What is the method of confirming that it is not? Do you audit uses of smart contracts? If so, how would you track that? It's a relevant question. Number 2, is there collaborative research using electromagnetic radiation within particle physics involving CERN and embedded systems? Well, we already know that there's likely collaborative research going on within certain governmental organizations with CERN. So biosensors, semiconductors inside of human beings with IEEE research. If it is occurring, what services and assistance can or would be provided given the fact that this is a weapon of mass destruction? What would the penalty be to the researchers, particle physicists, military contractors, I'm assuming, for abusing this technology when it was, according to your video, disallowed as of 1953? Number 3, what would the process look like in proving exposure of illegal levels of electromagnetic radiation infrasound tissue destruction, ferrous metal in the body? Number 4, electronic warfare. Could White Rabbit be used within timing for electronic warfare exposure measurements and churning of funds, payment systems from the human body with an E-band? I should have put a W-band system as well, but I didn't. Using Thales systems and or other forms of smart contract-enabled systems. I'm not sure if you are aware, but within military research collaboration projects in the United States and Canada, their collaboration is deemed as current. 2024 is dated from 1963. That's like one of the military agreements. This predates MKUltra in the 1970s. Some of those projects used in MKUltra CIA research involved radiation, to my understanding. At this time, we have several persons who I believe have collected enough evidence pertaining to instances I speak to above, including some diversion tactics using organic material combined with a small Tesla coil system. We can thank Colette for that. We'd love to hear from you, as we have support of an electrical engineer pertaining to the use of semiconductors in the human body without informed consent. Shielding and removal of these devices are very difficult for individuals to obtain. A number of these devices are also piezoelectric implants, clearly combined in the use of body area network systems, biosensors, NXP semiconductors, Nokia systems, and LoRaWAN. So I finished it off with his credentials. Pretty awesome fella, really awesome. Very well studied, also into satellite applications, and with diamond light source for beamline scientist. That's amazing, right? National Instruments of United Kingdom and Ireland. And I believe Mr. Trump had named Ireland as collaborating within some questionable research projects. Let's just put it that way. You can Google it. It's as true as the whole 9 yards. Here we got National Physical Laboratory, National Instruments, blah, blah. There's organizations that he's members of, Radio Society of Great Britain. He speaks a little German. Amazing. Amazing, right? So it's important for the context for everybody to understand. I had looked into the white rabbit stuff, and they're conducting some water aquatic research in my city by scientists, which means it's being conducted inside my province. I've never noticed or been told anything, that these layered systems or research projects are going on. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. CERN, the Hadron Collider. Wow, amazing stuff, right? So this is also being conducted in my brother's city and other places, and this is in Canada. And the United States has collaborative research agreements, including with biological research for electromagnetic radiation within medical research with CERN. Have you ever heard of CERN being involved in any biological research projects with human beings for medical? I haven't. Isn't that amazing? Amazingly odd, but it's there. So ATI was taking some photos of her husband and her dog and herself, and she found these lines beaming straight through them. Double lines. I don't think that the sun can actually do that. I think that's pretty odd. Wouldn't you think that's really odd? Straight line like that. She also captured it in the shade. So hopefully she'll be, exploring some more of that. She's been getting a lot of use out of the small Tesla coils. I'm sure she's going to burn out her Tesla coil gun. She needs to add a capacitor. I've been adding some in a new category I added a few days ago. Interesting bits for some experiments with magnets. I do believe that magnets are used in everything today, especially in the weapons systems that we are dealing with. And I believe that they can be utilized to counter many of the aspects, not only stop some of the communications within the N52s, i.e. over a anomalous area in your body that has involuntary muscle contractions, but other aspects as well. So I will bring up some other stuff a little bit later. I don't want to divert from it too much. So take a gander and look up White Rabbit. Have fun.